good evening. I'm very happy to be one of this conference, this important conference. I'm happy. Thank you for researching, important researching. Thank you very much. I would talk about using laser to develop a laser pulse system for the removal of the space debris. Today, we all know that the importance of space science and astronomy as it enters every home. Nowadays, every home have a space science and astronomy, like mobiles, like TV channels, everything. Satellites have a variety of a proposed required of them. Specific type are credit for each proposed among this type, like astronomical satellite used for telecommunication and television broadcasting, and satellite observes the Earth and study weather and weather conditions. Satellite used for navigation, exploring moons. Satellite used in solar energy are micro satellite and CubeSat and military satellite. For example, communications satellite which allow entering phone conversation and data via satellite. The most important feature of this satellite is the transponder. Transponder, a device that receives a conversation at one frequency and then amplifies it and send it back to Earth on another frequency. Usually, a satellite contains hundreds of thousands of transponders, and such satellites are the Surya Emirates satellites. Weather satellites and their job is to help meteorologists predict the weather or know what's going on the moment. A good example in this so-called GOES, environmental satellite for Earth. These types of satellites generally contain cameras that can return image of Earth's weather, either from geostationary position or from polar orbit. Satellite television broadcast, which allows transmission our broadcast from one point to another, similar to communication satellite, and it is the most popular where television channels transmit between countries and also international and domestic football match and broadcast between different countries. And nowadays we know how important these satellites because of COVID-19, and we really need these satellites. Navigation satellites for navigation, which assist ships and aircraft in navigation. The most popular are the GPS, and there is GLONASS and Beidou, Chinese one, Beidou, GLONASS, and Galileo, European one. The GPS Navastar is a group of 24 satellites to determine the location for any region in the world. Search and rescue satellite called SARSAT, short for Search Resource Satellite. This satellite pick up radio distress signal from lost aircraft, ships, offshore oil platforms, or the like in case of accidents. Appropriate resource means such as helicopters are sent. And this system has a big role in reducing the size of human losses. Like these systems, Earth observation satellites, and the goal of those satellites are to monitor certain places and the change that happen to the environment, ranging from temperature to the amount of environment pollution. Today, we have a problem in environment. We have a problem with pollution. Really big problem in pollution in all the countries in the world. Some of them can take clear picture to the proposes and to help decision makers toward the urban development. For example, the American land did that picture from Dubai Sat 1. And another one in the future, what the presenter after me told about it, James Webb telescopes performs all kinds of science takes the picture in space of everything from the sun to planets and galaxies to gamma ray. Hubble telescopes, International Space Station, military satellites, although there is not much information available about these applications of military satellites because their goal is intelligence and can be said that it included application for encrypted communication, nuclear monitoring enemy movement, early warning of missile launch, everything of terrestrial radio, radar, imaging, and photography, for example, satellites such as the Skynet satellites launched by the United States of America in 1974. So we have a lot of satellites. We have three orbiter, LEO orbiter, and MEO orbiter and GEO orbiter. So we have three orbiters. We have a lot of satellites. We have a lot of rockets with put the satellites in orbiter, and we have countries that have satellites. These countries in green color have a satellites. Country in blue color that can be launched satellites, A country in red color, that country is space states, country we can control in the space. Okay, why now we are begin. In 2009, two satellites called it. One of which was American operated by Iridium satellites, and the other was Russian designed for military purposes. This collision resulted in between 500 to 600 objects, some of which don't exist 10 centimeters. After this incident, NASA measured the probability of serious accident from the launch of the space shuttle and found that there is an accident probability for every 318 shuttle launches. Most of these extract travel at more than 28,000 kilometers per hour. At this speed, this waste, however small its size, in this speed could penetrate the structure of the spacecraft and pose a threat to the lives of astronauts. March 2009 in International Space Station was evacuated due to a dangerous space object approaching the station, and the length of the object is estimated to be 1/3 of an inch. 1/3 of an inch. And because this body has that could be estimated at $100 billion. And as a result of the delay in informing the station goes of the body, they were unable to maneuver around the body, forcing them to evacuate the station and resort to the Soyuz rescue capsule in order to protect them from the sharp pressure dropped in the event of the collision. There is a movie talk about this idea like graffiti from Sandra Bullock and George Clooney. Graffiti talk about something like that. The Rost accident occurred in 1979 when the Skylab station entered the Earth's aircraft ahead of schedule. Parts of the planet, which weighed 78 tons, fell in spirited part of Australia on March 2007. Part of this debris of a Russian satellite fell near a Chilean Airlines plane with 270 passengers on board. One of the space remains to occur in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia on 2001. So far, one injury was recorded due to space debris as Lottie Williams was, I'm sorry for this problem, I'm so sorry. Okay, I will continue. One of the space remained according in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. In 2001, space debris as Lottie Williams was injured in the shoulder in 1997. The presence of the object has been confirmed and its source has been identified as part of the fuel tank of the Delta II vehicle launched by the US Air Force in 1996. And this from my country, this from my country. So, in the end, we have a lot of debris in space, thousands of debris in the space. Look at the diagram, we can find the number of objects and the years, how many objects nowadays, the collection, what happened nowadays, more than 510 objects was in 2000 Iridium and Russian satellites. This is a total of number of objects and years. FY1C, this is Chinese satellites, Iridium, Cosmos. This is accident happened in space. So in 4-inch, we have 20,000 debris can be dodged, tracked, half an inch, about 1 centimeter, 500,000 mostly untracked, half inch, 1 million untracked can be shielded against. This about country, USA and Russia and China have about 4,000 debris. About every country have a satellite. United States have 842 satellites working. Russia have 143. China have 840. Nowadays, we have a lot of space debris. We have 5,000 successful rocket launched. We have 8,000 satellites placed into Earth orbiters. We have 5,000 on this satellite are still in space. We have 2,000 of these satellites still function. We have 8,400 tons in the total mass of all space objects in Earth's orbit. Several ideas were put forth to process this problem of space debris, which constitute a threat to the Earth. On the one hand, and spaceship, mission, and satellite. On the other hand, of this idea, there are logical and practical ones which could implement today, while others are out of reach. There are researches on the use laser technology by sending high intense pulses to change the debris path and prevent collision despite the disparity in these studies with respect to suggestion sending these pulses from Earth or space. This research shed light on the use and application of laser technology in space. It also identifies weakness. This research shed light on this use and application of laser technology in space. It also identifies weakness of this technology and provides an idea to avoid them through the usage of laser system to help in determine the dimensions and speed of space objects and their components. This may contribute to improving the method of processing and the providing of the press and developing the processing to include even natural space objects which form a threat to Earth, such as asteroids. In this event that the Earth station is used to launch the laser pulse, these pulse must be of very high energy to reach the required altitude and the influence of the atmosphere, climate factors, and the position of the Earth station in relation to target debris to be treated. All navigation affect the feasibility of this treatment and may cause it fall or delaying the 30-minute process, and the ground 30-minute requires a flow-up and monitoring system from space to identify targets and adjust the focus of the laser beams on the target, just as the 30-minute in effective with small debris which carries the greatest risk. Although this technology is very effective for large debris in low Earth orbit. Finally, laser. The laser, what's mean laser? Laser is laser detection and ranging. Laser detection and ranging. Laser, abbreviation for detection and measurement of range by laser, is one of the latest technologies for remote sensing and laser, which is a device that sends a laser beam in a specific direction and receives the bouncing light and analyzes it in detectors and determine the properties of the object returning from it by the light through the time period and phase difference. This is my idea. This is my presentation. Thank you a lot for pay attention for me. Thank you very much.